Hey guys, and welcome back to Sponge's Tech Tips. I'm Sponge. Hello. It is the 6th of July, and it is hot. I'm up here in Woodinville, Washington State. It's, it's probably just now getting under 90. It was, last I checked, it was like 92, 93 today. And I'm sweating like a pig, and it's just crazy up here. So, still working on our Honda Pilot full interior swap. Again, just to remind you guys, this is a February of, let me put my glass, February of 08. Let me look at the production date again. There we go. February 08. We have two. This one's an 08 also. And we are doing a complete interior swap on this. If you've looked at our previous videos that I've been putting up, it's trucking along here. You can see I've got the whole back done, back seats, third row, everything's been swapped. Seat belts, all the seat belts have been swapped, door panels been swapped. And now I'm moving on to the dash. Now, I'm probably not going to do a full dash swap video just because of amount of time. It takes too long. But I'll get you some of the parts, some of the things that might help you out. Like the steering wheel, that's what we're doing today. Before we get started, let me ask you guys, please, if you're enjoying these videos or if you want to see some other videos, please subscribe to the channel. Like this video, of course, if this is a good one for you. And subscribe to the channel. That'll help me keep going on these. And always feel free to leave comments because I love the comments. Here, let me back up a little bit. So this is the dash we're going to be pulling out. I haven't done anything on it, so we're starting with the steering wheel. We got to get that out of the way. That's going to end up being swapped also. This, as you can see, is a much nicer dash with the upgraded wood trim. And of course, it's an entirely different color. This is kind of an olivey green, and the other one had gray in it. So everything has got to go. So the tools we're going to be using, we need a pick tool, something small and sharp, a ratchet, of course, a T30. I am using a socket. If you have a screwdriver, it actually might help. Torx bit screwdriver, just because it's a tight spot. And if you do have sockets, if you have the smaller socket, it actually might make it a little easier because the hole that this has to go into is a little tight. Or the other option would be the sockets with the longer, the longer tooled attachment on the end, the drive, if you will. Okay, you are going to need an extension. I'm using this one. I actually recommend a slightly longer one than this, or maybe two of these together. Unfortunately, in this mix, I have lost my other extension and my ratchet. It's buried somewhere in this pile. So I'm using what I got available right now. And then you also need a socket. It's 19 millimeter. I prefer the 6-point, but a 12-point will also work. Okay. All right, to start off with, we have to remove the horn button. Actually, to start off with, I've already done it. But you want to disconnect your battery. So if you haven't disconnected your battery for some of the other stuff we've done, go ahead and disconnect it for this, because you are going to be working with an airbag. That's going to do two things. One, that's going to prevent anybody from getting hurt from an airbag deploying, which is rare, but it could happen. And then also the other thing it does is it prevents you from having to reset the airbag light, because you're disconnecting the battery, swapping out your plugs, the airbags themselves with the plugs, and then turn the battery back on, so it doesn't recognize that you disconnected it from the computer. So, okay, the first thing we are going to do, and keep in mind, I've loosened everything already. On the side of your steering wheel, on both sides, you will see a hole, and inside there is a Torx head. That's that T30. You can see it's a little tight when the socket, it fills that hole, so a little bit smaller one. I've already loosened these, but you want to break them free, one on each side, and then we will unscrew these. Now, it is a little difficult to keep them on the tool as you remove it, so there's a chance it might fall. And so keep in mind, I already broke this free. I'm just unthreading it to show you. And we'll see if we can't get it out without dropping it inside. But if you drop it inside, it's not a big deal because you're going to be taking off the airbag and the steering wheel anyway, so you can get it out of there. It is not going to come free, so let's see if we can do this. A little harder when you're doing it one-handed because you got to kind of move the steering wheel around a little bit. I guess I could use little needle nose pliers, might be able to grab it. It's actually loose in there. You can see it. Come on. There it goes. Okay, it just fell in, not a big deal. Okay, now the next thing you're gonna do, you have two options, and I'll show you the first one. Oh, by the way, you've got a second screw on the other side, which is right there. I don't know if you can see it. I can't see it because I'm on the other side, but that one's already been removed. Okay, next thing you're going to do, down underneath the steering wheel, there is a little cover right here. And you can remove that and expose there we go. So here's that plastic cover. You remove that and you expose your airbag plug, which is the yellow plug right here. And you can unplug it at that point. The other option for you, if that's difficult, once you get those two screws out, you kind of shimmy the steering wheel a little, or I'm sorry, not the steering wheel, the horn button a little bit, the airbag itself, and it will pop out. There it goes. It will pop out, and if you turn it just a bit, well, our plug came out, so that defeated the purpose, but let's just say that this plug was attached in here, not coming free. You can use your little pick to get underneath the connectors here, pop those out, and once you pop those out, the plug itself, see if I can do it one-handed here. Nope, don't do that. You don't want to tear these apart. There it goes. So once you pop the little red safety clip, you can pop that away from the horn button, the back of the airbag right there. So, but the other thing you can do also, if this comes free and you can get your hand, you just pull this back and that will release it. So this is kind of a two-handed thing. Let me see if I can get you guys to see it while I'm doing it. It's going to be an extreme close-up, I think. Okay, here we go. So you're going to pull this back. There it goes. And it's unplugged. You probably didn't get to see that too much, but there's a little retractable cover right there. Okay. Now your airbag is disconnected. You do need to disconnect a few plugs in here. You've got one green plug here for your cruise control, and then you've got a plug over here on this side for your stereo controls, volume, and then you have your ground here, and that's a single button in the center. Just push that down and pull that off of that ground right there. Okay, so now you've disconnected these. Okay, now the next thing you want to do, you want to take your socket. We're going to add the 19 millimeter to it. That's going to go to the main steering wheel bolt. Now this may take a little force. I already broke mine free. I do want to show you. So I've got that short extension, and you can see it's rubbing on the steering wheel right here. So a little bit longer extension would be helpful. And using two hands, you want to grab the steering wheel here, and you want to break it free in a counterclockwise direction, which I've already done. And then I did it so much All right. Once it's loose, you can just do it by hand. Take that bolt off, or I'm sorry, that nut off completely. Remember, set these things aside so you don't lose them. Okay. Now the next thing you want to do is get in your vehicle. If you have your seat, you can sit in your seat. I don't have a seat, so I'm just going to climb in here. And what you want to do is you want to grab the steering wheel at this point on both sides. So one hand there, one hand there, and you're going to rock it back and forth. So push on one side, pull on the other, and it will actually pop free. And there's no need for a steering wheel fork if you can vibrate it back and forth. And if you saw that, our little nut just fell out of there. It's on the floor somewhere. And just like that, your steering wheel is now off. Leaving this. Now, the other thing I want to mention, this is what's called your clock spring. You want to make sure that this doesn't turn, okay? Leave it in the same position. The other thing I could have recommended too was make sure your wheels are straight before you take this off. Before you shut the power off, everything. Just set your steering straight so everything's evened up in the middle, and then make sure your clock spring stays at the top for when you reinstall it after doing whatever you're going to be doing. So, all right, guys, that is it for the steering wheel. Again, I actually got to get out of this car because it's so hot out here. Oh my gosh, woo! It's probably 20 degrees hotter inside the vehicle. So please, if you like this video, if it helped you out, hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. The more subscribers I get, the more that'll help me be able to keep doing this and helping you guys out. And make sure to feel free to leave a comment. Love hearing from you guys. And I will see you on the next part of this transformation. All right, guys, see you on the next one.